Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel. We are in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And as you saw last episode, we drove 45 minutes over our drive clock. Today, we're going to use all of our drive clock again, probably. ETA 11 hours, 1 minute to Jackpot, Nevada. We're going to be able to go over and discover Interstate 80 to the west of Salt Lake City. So we're going to be driving on the south side of the Great Salt Lake. And yeah, that's about it. We're gonna take our break, our half-hour break, just outside of Salt Lake City before at the truck stop there, and then we should be able to truck on through to Jackpot. Might stop in now I'm forgetting which city we're gonna be getting off the 80 at. It's either Wells or Winnemucca, and we could stop there and take another break if we need it. But without further ado, let's get on the road with our Case IH. What is it, a 9230? And once we finish this job, we are going to have enough money to pay off our loan. And once we pay off our loan, that means we can take out another loan. Of course, we could just pay off the loan and just earn solid money. Just snag that fence and snag the curb there. And maybe we will do that. There's no... either way. But in all likelihood, I will take out pretty quickly a $500,000 loan and get this little trucking company off the ground by hiring, hopefully being able to purchase 2 more trucks. Maybe another trailer to go along with at least one of those trucks, and then 2 drivers to drive them. We will be taking one of those new trucks. Look, I'm eyeing up a Peterbilt 389. A little bit tight on that corner. And I'll be taking that truck, and someone else will be getting this guy, at least for the time being. And then we'll have to decide what we want to buy for the 3rd truck in the fleet. We'll give the box trailer to somebody. Maybe stick it with this truck again and then get another kind of trailer. Probably a flatbed. But we'll see what mods are out there. I'll probably go and start downloading some ownable trailer mods. And maybe we'll buy one of those. And depending on how much money we have, if that's all we can buy, I'll stick with doing freight market jobs so we get a variety of things to haul. Or maybe go with the flatbed trailer and we can see what kind of cargo market is out there for that. So let's sit back and we'll enjoy Interstate 80 through Wyoming in the early morning of May 30th, 2019. Now those truck stops looked like they were pretty populated with trucks, and that's pretty much the location of where Laramie, Wyoming would be. And that would have been our first area to rest if we had decided to immediately start heading west on 80 last night, or yesterday afternoon. And we definitely would have gone over the clock a lot more if we had done that. We are making really good time. 9 hours and 22 minutes, and well, it's still gonna be close because we started, well, actually it's gonna be right on the dot because we started driving at 3 o'clock or 3:15, right? It's saying right now we're gonna get there at 2:10. That means it's gonna take us 10 hours 55 minutes to get there. So hopefully that estimate keeps going down, keep shaving that off a little bit. It's gonna be very close. There's no room for errors, no room for traffic. We might have another day where we go over and violate the logbook again, and that's one thing I wish. Well, I obviously it's something in real life. Well, if you're an owner-operator, you don't have this option as much. If you're a company driver and you're in a situation where, well, you're not going to be able to deliver that load because your clock is in shambles. Here we are getting slowed down to a crawl by an ambulance. If your clock is in shambles and you're not able to make that delivery time, you might be able to redirect, take your load to one of your yards, one of your drop yards, or one of your terminals, and leave it there, or meet up with the driver and swap trailers, swap loads, whatever it is, and that driver will take it from there, and maybe he's got a clock that he'll be able to make it. That could happen. They'll work with you. Companies want to get that load there on time. If you can't get it there on time, they'll try to get someone who can. Sometimes, sometimes that's the name of the game, is that they need you to pick it up. You're not going to have time to get it there on time, though, because your clock's not in the right place. But you're going to be able to get it part of the way there, and then someone else who's coming from another direction will be able to pick it up and bring it on home. But as you can see, Wyoming is pretty much just the road and the base texture, not a lot there. And I couldn't tell you if this is exactly what Wyoming looks like. I have a fleeting idea it isn't. There's a little bit more going on in Wyoming. Particularly the Rocky Mountains and Yellowstone and all of that, but I'll have to go look at a satellite photo of Interstate 80. You guys will be able to see that when I show you our route. But I'm sure it's more than just this flat, barren land. And that's sometimes why I don't like driving coast to coast. I love being able to go to different places, go to different states, say I'm going to a different city. And in reality, all we're doing in this game is we're just going to a bunch of pixels on a screen. So when I say, hey, we're going to Oregon and we're going to Portland, and it's actually Portland, it's not actually Portland, it's not actually Los Angeles, it's not actually Las Vegas. But for the sake of comparison between Coast to Coast and SCS's DLC, we went to Columbia, South Carolina a few episodes ago, and that was clearly just repurposed Columbia, Oregon. So it is what it is. But I do enjoy being able to travel all over the place. Coast to Coast gives us that. I saw a ridiculous thread, and again, I might have mentioned this, so forgive me if I did a few episodes ago, but I saw this thread where a guy was kind of griping about, well, why doesn't SES, and I know I've said this before where people have said, why don't they just use Coast to Coast as a base, and they'll save them all this time and they'll be able to get the DLC out faster. Well, this one was a little bit different. This guy was saying, why do we need to wait for SCS and their DLC, which is going to take forever? We're all going to be old and the game's not even going to be around by the time they get all the states done. That very well might be the case. So why are we even bothering? Why are they even doing it? Why are they wasting their time making DLC? Or why are they doing it? Why are they trying to make their states look so detailed? Why not just do it like coast to coast? We don't need all the detail. We just need the roads so we can go from Los Angeles to New York, right? That's all we need. We don't need all the detail. At which point you start thinking to yourself, okay, he just referenced coast to coast. He talks about how he already has it and he really enjoys it, and that's good enough for him. I don't see what the problem is, then. I don't know, I don't understand what his point he is making, because he's literally saying, we already have coast to coast. Coast to coast is sufficient enough for what we all need. We just need a road to be able to drive from one end of the country to the other. We don't need all the textures and trees and, you know, cities and prefabs and all that stuff. We just need the roads to travel all over the 50 or the 48 contiguous United States. I'm sure he would also love to see Canada and Alaska and everything modeled in a bare bones sort of way. And he's saying, hey, that's all we need. Why waste the time? Why spend 100 years or 25 years or whatever your estimate is to make all 50 states in high detail like they've done? I would say very well so far with our paid DLC with New Mexico and Oregon. Why do that at all? We already have coast to coast, it's sufficient. Which begs the question, well, then why does SCS need to do what coast to coast already did, which is bare bones, as it happens, map mod? The guys at Coast to Coast do not get paid to do this. The base map was thrown together, they put the base roads, the big interstates in, so you can get from one end of the country to the other. And in recent months, in the last year, I've noticed an explosion of detail growing in certain areas. You saw Colorado, Kansas, Texas has a lot more roads. The detail hasn't gone up a ton in there. In the southeast, looking really good. And I know there's a guy, he's working on the Midwest now, he's working on Illinois, he's getting really detailed and really passionate. That's what we need. We need more people to do that. But why does that mean SCS has to stop doing what it's doing? SCS is going to come out maybe 2 states a year, maybe 3 at some point, maybe 4. If we keep paying for the map DLC, they're going to be able to expand their group of people that can make maps. They're going to be able to hire more people. They'll be able to put out DLC faster. Why do we stop that? Because it's going to take a long time. And why should SCS do what Coast to Coast already has? Honestly, I want to pay $10 to SCS so I can see a nice, detailed, rich version of Washington State, or of Utah, or Montana, or whatever it is. That's what I want. I don't want just coast to coast, a road like this going through Wyoming. I want to see what SCS gives us. When SCS gives us Wyoming, it's not going to look like this. It's going to there's going to be more vegetation, rocks, and things to see on the side of the road as you're driving that you would see driving in Wyoming in real life. A representation of all those things, but still those things nonetheless. So it's just a very strange thread, a very strange concept that he contradicted himself in his own thing, because he was saying, it's like, hey, why can't SCS just do what Coast to Coast is doing and just give us a bare bones and give us a complete game with all the roads in it? It's like, well, why should SCS do that? You already have that with Coast to Coast. SCS is going to devote its energy to making really quality map DLC. And again, anytime I compare the map DLC to Coast or Coast to Pro Mods, it's all grades of quality. Pro Mods, and I know the Coast to Coast guys would say, Coast to Coast as a whole is not the same level as Pro Mods over in ETS2, in Euro Truck Simulator. And the Pro Mods guys, now, you could make the argument that the Pro Mods guys, some of their stuff is on par, if not better, and more accurate than SCS's stuff, at least over with Euro Truck Simulator. I don't know what they're going to do with Canada. That's their next project for American Truck Simulator. That's going to be cool. I'm not from Canada. I'm not terribly interested in Canada, but if Pro Mods is making it, and it's more roads, and it's going to be quality stuff that I can drive on, heck, I'm going to be up in we're going to be up in Canada driving around. We're going to check it out, because I love driving in ETS2 and seeing what they've created and comparing that to what is done in that game by SCS. That's a really interesting. I've never seen a Best Buy a curtain. I don't even know if that was a curtain. That was kind of like a tarp. Got a little bit of a frame rate hiccup right there, but I think I mentioned it in episode 75 now. As we start to come into Utah, we get a few more little mounds and mountains. Again, nowhere near the detail that I hope that SCS will give us. Let's not run over this motorcyclist. And then now I'm just back in jump traffic. And here's our truck stop where we're going to stop for our half-hour break. We've been driving since 3:15. It's about been 5 hours, 15 minutes of driving. And we can actually fuel up just a little bit. Maybe even top it off. Why not? I don't think that would put us over the limit. Well, fuel a little bit more expensive here than in Colorado. We last fueled in Limon, Colorado. Here, not exactly sure the exact town this is. I don't know how many times I'm going to say exactly in a sentence right there. But we're just outside of Salt Lake City. We're going to pull into a spot, take it to half-hour break. We'll get driving again, probably 9:15. Truckers do not like taking these half-hour breaks. I'm sure I will not appreciate being forced to take a half-hour break once I become a real-life trucker, but thinking about it, though, you get that half hour, if you can find parking, and get out, stretch the legs, get something to eat. But it does suck that you're mandated at a certain time to do things, and hopefully those rules will be changing as it goes forward. Alright, I'll see you at around 9:15. Alright, welcome back to American Truck Simulator, back from our break. We got some crazy stuff going on the other side of the road. Look at that big traffic jam. That pickup truck, that red pickup truck is sideways. I saw a car flying. I was warping the speed. You can see a little yellow sports car over there or something. And it's just a mess. There's another sports car even further back sideways. So there's a lot of crazy stuff happened as I was making time warp really fast. And I'm probably the cause of all this mischief over there. Anyway, we're gonna get going. Doesn't affect us. Make sure no one's behind us. I'm sure a car will come flying through and yeah, it doesn't look like that's gonna get cleared up anytime soon. Whoa! Oh, okay. I thought that dump truck was driving on the wrong side of the road, but he's just on the freeway. It's a little hairy here. These trucks just flying through the gas pumps, not actually stopping. Merge, please, merge. Now, I did just kind of go off for a little bit of time there talking about that guy's post about the maps. And we know the maps are going to come out. They're going to come out 2 maps a year, maybe 3. Maybe in the future, maybe we can hope for 4 or 5. But there's not much we can do about that except for continue to support SCS. But SCS is, now again, I have not started using the public beta. Maybe next episode. Maybe episode 78. Maybe I will use the public beta. Maybe not. Maybe there's no reason to do it. It might just screw everything up. But there is hope that maybe 1.35 is going to be a huge update. They're saying DirectX 11 support might be in the offerings with that one. Obviously, in the experimental beta, people are testing it, seeing if it works. They're saying that the performance is better with it, which makes sense. I cannot wait for 1.35 to come out. They've added a bunch of roads, and they're doing under the hood stuff, and that is a big thing for ATS is going forward that maps are important. We need more maps, yes, but we also need to make sure that the game keeps evolving graphically and engine-wise. It needs to be playable. It needs to look good as we go forward. And we need to be willing to let SCS have the time for that. And it would not surprise me if they would have maybe a paid DLC, almost a paid required update to really just to make it just the next version of the game. Really, is what it would be. But that next version would come packaged with all of the maps that we already have bought. And I don't know how that would work, but it's a little harrowing to think about. It's like that these games, it's like some of them can last. Some games with DLC, especially with the way DLC works, some games are built where they can last 10 years and you just keep adding on. Some games aren't like that. Some games, they just come out annually, every 2 years, every 3 years. ATS has been out since 2016, coming up, it's been 3 years now. You know, how much longer does this game have before they just say, hey, we're going to build from the ground up again and go ATS 2? Now, I think they have a good bead on their audience, on their customer base, knowing that most customers, unless you're going to give them something brand spanking new, ATS 2 comes out and it is a whole new ball game. Most people are not going to be thrilled about dropping probably. Let's think about how much you probably spent on this game. If you bought every DLC, you probably spent $50, $60. Now, if you think about that, though, that's the price you would pay for a AAA game right out of the box. $70, $60, $70 nowadays. And that game might be, you know, superseded within a year. A game like Madden, for example, or any of those sports games, or a lot of games like that. This interesting scenery right now. Once I get past this truck or get into a decent area, I'm gonna snap a quick snapshot. You might notice a little bit of a jolt, but I'll cut around that. But I'm rambling. SCS they've got to keep working under the hood as well as above the hood, making it look nice, making it look pretty, adding maps. They also have to work underneath, make the game, and add gameplay features. And they've done this already. They've done it. They've proven that they listen to the community, that they're adding things in. They're adding more truck manufacturers. They've added in trailer ownership. I'm going to drive around these corners too fast. they've added in, and with 1.35, they're going to add in some more options. Emergency fueling. They're going to add in sliding the tandems. That might have been something I talked about in a recording that did not make it. That's something that's coming up. 1.35, the sliding tandems. I'm really excited about that. You take those two rear axle wheels, well, actually just the two axles that are on the trailer itself, and obviously when you're connected to the trailer, truckers slide those tandems. They move where those wheels are on the trailer. They can move forward, they can move them back. And depending on where those are, those change your turn. That changes your turn radius. It makes the trailer more maneuverable, less maneuverable. It also is specifically designed for shifting around the weight on the axles, because besides just the gross weight limit of 80,000 pounds, 40 tons, there's also a limit on how much of that weight can be where the weight is distributed. On the drive tires, on the steer tires, on the steer axles, on the drive axles, and on the trailer axles. And so, depending on how your load is loaded, what the weight of it is, and where it's all being distributed, and that's those CAT scales, a scale will tell you how it's being distributed on each axle, you may need to adjust the load itself, which would require you to go back to the shipper and have them rework it. Unless you are someone who does the working of the load yourself. Or if you are, obviously this is the first option, or the preferred option is slide your tandems. Move the center of gravity, move where, and adjust so that the weight is distributed differently between the axles. So that's going to be something, I don't know how detailed it's going to get it with all of that part of it as we come up to Nevada. And usually when we enter Nevada, we're able to hammer down on the gas and get up to 80, but speed limit through Wyoming is also 80, so nice fast trip here. We are actually making incredible time. Again, I say incredible time, but actually we did have the brake. And considering the brake, the delivery time should actually be right on top of, it should be further, but yeah, we actually saved a lot of time off, if I'm doing the math right. And once we get there, I'll do the math and think about it. But before, we were supposed to deliver this basically 11 hours after we started driving. It's saying right now that at the latest we'll probably deliver this at 2 Pacific Daylight Time, which would be 3 Mountain Time. Wait a sec. Yeah. But, and then also you have to think about that we didn't drive for 45 minutes of that. So that'd be the equivalent of 2:15. I'm doing a lot of math that you're not seeing right now. If you guys can work it out with me. But that'd be like we're delivering at 2:15 essentially, meaning we're ahead of schedule, and we shaved an hour off of the drive time. And you'll see that once we put the log up that our drive time should be probably, I think, by the time we get to the unload, which would be 2 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock. Yeah, it should be good. We'll see. I might be all talking out my butt right now. Let's enjoy the scenery. Let's pay attention to shifting our gears properly so we're not just putzing along and wasting all that time. Yeah, this is a portion of road I've never driven on. I don't think most of us have driven on it unless you have coast to coast, because you probably can't drive out this far. Even though we're in Nevada, you usually have to get off the freeway at where we're going to be getting off at that Jackpot exit. But this looks like a lot of SCS stuff over here. SCS does do that. There's areas where they've already made it. We can't access it. We can't always see it. unless we open it up with something like Coast to Coast, where now we can see it. We can go through an area that's already been designed. It's ready to go. When Utah is released, everyone, regardless of if you have Coast to Coast or not, will be able to see this area, provided you also get the DLC, Utah DLC. That's what it is. It's Wells. I was right. The first one, Wells, not Wickamaka. Wickamaka. It's Wells, Nevada. I think Wells is actually an added town by one of the mods, whether it's Coast to Coast or US Cities expansion. I also have in the new expansion for Nevada that's being worked on. We're not going to hit that in this trip. As we're going to get off here, head up to Jackpot on US 93. Now, I will say, US 93 is a fun road to drive every once in a while, because it is just a 2-lane road going through this majestic desert landscape, and every once in a while it's really fun to realize that, you know what, Nevada is not one of the worst states to drive in American Truck Simulator. It is actually a pretty interesting one to look at. It's almost... I'd prefer going through Nevada. Sometimes I get a route and I'm like, oh, I have to go through Nevada. What's the alternative? California? Do I want to go through California going 55 and, you know, seeing the ho-hum landscape there? I'm not saying it's totally ho-hum. There are some things to see there as well. I think what gets you a little worried about Nevada is that you are taking US 93 or US highways and 2-lane highways through the desert. The scenery's great. Driving on the 2-lane road is a pain. I always remember when the first time I went over this bridge and this area. Really cool. This river. And this used to be kind of a, and it still is. I mean, even if you have, I think even Oregon doesn't really connect to this area. So even if you know, this is the original area that was kind of the outlying part of the SES map when it was just California, Nevada, and Arizona. Kind of just in the corner. This, over in California, you have, slipping the top of my head, but the town is right up there at the top of California. You don't get to those as much because that means you're going the whole part of the map, and you're just going to have to turn right around and come back down. Whereas with this, now with Coast to Coast and with Oregon, as they add more states, you're going to get to some of these quote-unquote outlying areas that used to be, you know, kind of the end of the line, and now you get to keep going to the next state. And Jackpot always seemed like one that I could never get to. It took a long time for me to get out here and want to come this direction even. In any case, here we are in Jackpot, Nevada. Some frame rate hiccups, but that happens. And hopefully, like I said, can't wait until 1.35 to see how, maybe DirectX 11 support fixes a few of these frame rate issues, because a lot of people that have these issues have some pretty stacked computers. I won't say my computer's incredibly stacked. But it should be operating this game a little bit better sometimes, I would think. Then again, maybe my computer's a potato. Speak of dead ends, and we're actually driving on a road that kind of dead ends and doesn't go anywhere. Except to ADM. That sign looks really weird. Maybe I just never noticed it in the daylight. Never noticed that it was actually pretty hollow. We're gonna pull in right here. Yeah, it's just a pull through. And that makes sense. You shouldn't have to back this thing in anywhere. Alright, so it's 1 p.m. That's 2 p.m. on our mountain time. That means we shaved off an hour and 15 minutes off our expected drive time, or about an hour. Yeah, hour 15, hour 10 off of what we expected to drive. So 924 miles, 26 hours, 48 minutes. And we make $2,118. That's going to put us over the top. I think we'll be able to pay off the loan. Well, let's go look at that. Yeah, $61,000, $61,958. Let's look at the bank. And we can pay it off. The question is, should we? And the answer is, yeah, why not? Right? Let's see if we can do it. Yes, we can. Again, probably wouldn't want to do this in real life because you're going to want to have some emergency money. But this isn't real life, so we're going to pay it off. We got $414. Now, we could get in trouble here because maybe we'll need to get some gas or something. I think we're pretty good on gas. I think we'll be able to do our next job, and we won't need more $414. Plus, we don't have to worry about paying $200 tonight, so we will have the same amount of money tomorrow. Next time, I'll probably save it for next time, or a few times from now. I will take out the $500,000 loan. I'll do that with you guys and buy a truck maybe, or maybe I'll take out the loan, I'll buy my own truck, and then we'll go and look at another truck together. We'll see. But we paid off the loan. We are now home free. We can just start making money on our own. We don't have to hire more workers, but I kind of want to. I kind of want to get some other trucks, drive some other trucks. All right, so that's gonna be it for this episode, or at least I'm gonna go park and give you the whole wrap up. But we've driven 10 hours a day on the dot. Well, we're gonna drive probably 10 hours, 15 minutes once we're all said and done. And honestly, if we hadn't gone over the limit yesterday, I think we would have been right on the edge of our driving time today. If we had delivered, it would have probably taken us 10 hours, 45 minutes, I would guess. But also, we would have had to rest in a whole different area, and many different things would have happened. So we were where we were. It is what it is. And we're gonna pull over here and rest for the night. And next episode, start looking at some new trucks. Grand Con. Alright. Let's turn off the engine. Let's check out the log. So we did drive another 15 minutes, so 10 hours, 15 minutes driving today. And overall, 10 hours and 45 minutes of duty time. So not bad. You can see we're really burning through the 70. Not going to make any guarantees that the next episode's going to be tomorrow, Friday. I think that'd be May 31st, right? May has 31 days, I think. But if it is, it is. We'll pick up here in Jackpot. If it isn't, maybe I'll play a few. Maybe I will take out the loan and buy my new Peterbilt and start driving that around and have fun with that. We'll see, but next episode or whenever the next one comes, that will be where we start looking at expanding the company and buying some more trucks. So until then, I'm Art Wenzel. This is American Truck Simulator. Keep on trucking. Goodbye.